Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be sharing a new TBR game that I would like to test out for a few months. This is not an original idea. I don't even know what to call it, so if you have any suggestions, please leave those in the comments down below. But this is how I'm going to be choosing my TBR for the month of November. See how it goes, see if I want to do this for all of 2023. But before we hop too far into it, hello, my name is Emily. This is MacInnis Mama, where you will find mostly bookish content with the occasional gardening or motherhood related video thrown in there. You'll find the creators who inspired my TBR game in my description box. This is not an original game, but I'm excited to play it for a few months nonetheless, and I hope you guys enjoy. I really loved when Jessie Mae did her Roll the Dice TBR, and I always loved watching those videos. She's gotten away from it in recent years, but I thought that I could do a bit of a spin on that. And then I've been watching Sam from A Life of Lit a lot, and she has a very chaotic, fun monthly TBR game. So I'm using an element of her game in the Roll the Dice TBR as well. I'm now realizing I should have done this part first, so now you're going to get kind of a bit of a spoiler for how the game is going to be played to come, but having the number 2 to 12 on this whiteboard, and this is going to be a mixture of books on my physical TBR as well as Kindle Unlimited books. I want to be sure I'm getting my money's worth out of that subscription. But then I also have these jars, which was inspired by Sam from A Life of Lit. She will be linked down below. I have a orange bin with jack-o'-lanterns. These are my easy prompts. I love prompt-based TBR games. Then my black skull bin has harder reading prompts. And then I also have a challenge jar, which is this skull filled with challenges. These can be adding a hard prompt, maybe having to draw 2 prompts and find one book that matches them. Maybe I need to add a secret TBR. Maybe I need to start all of my rolls over again and have a really big TBR. And I will also be pulling a challenge prompt if I do not complete my Roll the Dice TBR the previous month. I'm starting with a clean slate for the month of November, and I need to read all of the books that I rolled, or else I need to pull in a challenge prompt. So that was the part that was inspired by A Life of Lit. And to determine how many easy or hard spaces I get, I'm rolling a dice, 1 dice. If I get the number 1 or 2, I need 1 of the prompt. If I get a 3 or a 4, I need 2 of the prompt. If I get a 5 or a 6, I need 3 of the prompt. You get the gist. So I roll it once to determine how many easy prompts I need to add to the board, and I roll it again to determine how many hard prompts I need to add to the board, and then I use a random number generator to place them in the spot, so it will change month to month. Also, I will have to draw a challenge prompt if I roll a double. So again, spoiler alert for my November TBR, I only got, there's a big reflection, 1 easy and 1 hard space, and that's where they were placed with my random number generator. If I get a 2 or a 12, that's automatically a double, of course. I need to do a challenge prompt as well as read the book that is listed. I will be rolling 6 times. I feel that I can comfortably read between 5 and 10 books depending on their length per month. So I thought 6 rolls would be good and give me a little wiggle room if I have to pull some extra challenge prompts or also just secret TBRs, reading blogs, or mood reading. I would like some space in my monthly reading that's not completely set in stone. So 6 rolls. If I get doubles, pull a challenge prompt, read the book that's on here. This is a mix of books I own as well as books on Kindle Unlimited. And if I land on 3, I'll have to read The Never King, which is on Kindle Unlimited. I will erase this and replace it with a different Kindle Unlimited book, just like Jessie Mae did with her Roll the Dice TBR. I feel like this game is pretty self-explanatory. I'm explaining it to death. You will see as I'm doing my rolls. It is the Roll the Dice TBR from Jessie Mae with a little bit of the chaos from Life of Lit's monthly TBR thrown in. So I don't know if you want to have a play on that. No idea. I am now going to share the footage of me doing my November rolls, and I will meet you back here to go over all of the books I'm supposed to read. Alright, you guys, it's time to set up the board for the first time. I hope I explained everything I needed to in the intro, as I am filming this part first, but we have our easy prompts, hard prompts, and challenge prompts. I am going to roll 1 dice to determine how many easy prompts and hard prompts will be on the board. If the number rolled is 1 or 2, I need 1 prompt. 3 or 4, that's 2 prompts. 5 or 6 is 3 prompts. I hope that makes sense. And then I will use a random number generator to determine which spots each of those prompts go on, and I'll fill in the rest with both my physical TBR as well as books available on KU, as I want those to be more of a priority going forward. So let's see how many easy prompts we need this month. Just 1. Here is my random number generator, the numbers between 2 and 12, to determine where my easy prompt is going. It's going on number 8. I do not have very neat handwriting, so please excuse that. Now, how many hard prompts there will be? 1 as well. 7. I will fill in the rest of the board with a combination of my physical TBR as well as books on KU. If we get a 2 or a 12, that is automatically a double, which means I need to pull in a challenge prompt, but there will also be a book on the board for those as well for an added challenge. All right, here are all of the books I'm going to start off my November TBR with. I'm going to have 6 rolls. If I roll a double, I need to pull in a challenge prompt as well as whatever is on the board here. So let's see how many books I end up with. I have no idea. I have done this as a mock-up a couple of times and get anywhere from 6 easy books to a lot of books. So let's see. 6. Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare is now on my TBR, and I will replace that with another book that I have physically. Roll number 2. 6 again, and doubles. So I will be reading Addie LaRue, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I should say, as well as choosing a challenge prompt. There are some scribbly ones in here because Emmett helped me put these bins together. He's 2. This might be one of them. Yep, that is an Emmett prompt. Oh my gosh, and so is this one. So that means for roll number 2, in addition to reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I need to pull a book from my wormhole, which is just a list of all of the series I'm currently in the middle of. So I will have to generate a series I'm going to continue. Next, I need to replace this. Roll number 3. Daughter of No Worlds. Roll number 4. The Hero Ages plus a challenge. I think this is the worst out of all of the mock-up ones I've already done. Oh boy. This means I need to choose randomly off of my want to read Goodreads list. Roll number 5. Roll number 6 and final roll. Really? All right, I'm very surprised. Well, I'm not surprised because there's only 2 of them, but I didn't get to share with you any of my easy or hard prompts. I will just share a couple with you so you get a feel for them, I guess. So for easy, I have like a library book, a paperback, found family trope, just easier prompts, obviously. And then I do have a bin of harder prompts. Again, Emmett helped, which is why a lot of these are just crumpled. TBR vet, a Goodreads nominee, a thriller book, just generalized prompts. But for the month of November, I have a total of 8 books on my TBR, and I will share those with you in a moment. All right, I am back. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me roll for the books. We do have a couple of challenges that we need to figure out together, but I did go and grab my physical books that I rolled. So starting off, I have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I read the first 5 Mortal Instruments books a very long time ago. I have since reread the first 3, trying to read them in the proper order this time. So now I need to hop in to the Infernal Devices series, which is more historical. So I'm actually quite excited about this and hopping into some more YA fantasy. I feel like I haven't enjoyed a YA fantasy in a long time. So I'm excited to get started with this and make some progress on my wormhole books, if you will. I don't remember as I'm standing here exactly what order I rolled in my books. I should have written those down, so I'm just going to go over my physical books first. Then I'll chat about my KU books I rolled, and then we will do the challenges. So I also have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is my mom's book. She actually lent it to me, but this is a fantasy standalone. And this definitely feels like cozy fall vibes to me. And I think this is the perfect time of year to read this book. In this book, you're following Addie LaRue, who made a deal with the devil, I guess, to live forever, but at the cost that no one remembers her. And she encounters someone that does remember her, and it goes from there. I think this is very slice of life, very character driven, not a lot of plot, which I am ready for. And I also got The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I was supposed to read this in October. I still have quite a bit of the month left, but I just pretty much guarantee I will not have time to get to this big chunky book. It is over 700 pages of epic adult fantasy. This is the 3rd Mistborn book and wraps up this first era. So this is kind of like a series finale, if you will. So I'm excited to complete the Mistborn era 1. I absolutely loved The Final Empire, gave it 5 stars. I liked The Lull of Ascension a little bit less. But I have high hopes for The Hero of Ages. Apparently this is going to blow my mind. I just find Brandon Sanderson's books very intimidating to hop into, but then once I'm there, I read through it so fast. I thoroughly enjoy my time, so I don't know like what my mental block is with these big adult fantasy books when they're probably my most enjoyed genre. It literally makes no sense. But this is officially on my November TBR. I then have 3 Kindle Unlimited books. So this is the perfect like 50-50 split so far and exactly what I wanted. I want to read through my physical TBR and then also get my money's worth of my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I almost said prescription. First, I have A Daughter of No Worlds. This is by Carissa Broadbent, I believe. I literally have no idea what this is about. I know it is an adult fantasy romance, I believe, or maybe it's new adult. I have seen Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader screaming about this book. She previously raved about The Song of the Marked, which I also really want to read. That's also a fantasy romance series to start. but I just didn't have time, didn't prioritize it. And she's saying Daughter of No Worlds is even way better than that. She got 5 stars, new favorite fantasy romance. So that's some big claims, and I'm so excited to try it and maybe hop into the hype a little bit, like at the same time as everyone else. I'm always 100 years behind the hype. I bought Magnolia Parks, still haven't read it, still haven't read The Song of the Marked. And then I have Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. This is a historical, very dark romance. I thought it was kind of like fantasy romance based on the cover, but it is not. This is about a badass pirate lady who's trying to escape an abusive husband and is kind of falls in love with somebody else. No idea, but apparently this is dark. I have seen it. Some people say they love it. It wasn't that bad. Other people say it was like the darkest romance they ever read, which, I mean, it totally depends on your triggers, how much dark romance you have read or enjoy. So I don't know where I will fall on that spectrum, but I'm excited to read that one. And lastly, I have The Blood is Love. This is by Karina Halley, I believe. I recently read Black Sunshine, which is book 1 in the Dark Eyes. I think it's a duet. It's just these 2 books out so far, at least. The Blood is Love is the second one following that. I will talk more about Black Sunshine in my October wrap up. I didn't love it, but because it's only 2 books, at least that are out right now, and having read Black Sunshine added a series onto my series I'm in the middle of, I'd like to just knock it out and read The Blood is Love. I enjoyed it enough to read the sequel. And the sequel is much shorter than the first book, so I don't know if I will like it, but that is on the TBR. Now we have my 2 challenges that I rolled. The first was a wormhole book, which means I need to randomize a series to continue. I'm currently in the middle of 37 series, and if I don't own the next book, I do have some time to get it from the library. So I have my random number generator. I need to put in the numbers 1 to 37. I can't see. 21. So series number 21 on my list is the Wayward Children series. I have read the first 2 books, so I am up to Beneath the Sugar Sky. So I will have to get that one from my library. So that is now on the TBR as my wormhole book. The Wayward Children series is a dark portal adult fantasy series, but they are super short books, so I'm not worried about that one at all. I really enjoyed the first 2 books in the series, and I'm excited to continue. The second challenge I am extremely nervous about. I felt pretty confident with what I have going on, though I have quite a few chunky books, but you know, I felt okay about it. This is Roulette Goodreads. Some of these challenge prompts are very wicked. I have over 800 books on my Goodreads want to read list, and I'm going to randomize a book off of there, and I'll most likely have to get it from my library. If it is a book that I really, truly don't have any interest in reading anymore, I will actually remove it from my Goodreads want to read list and randomize again. I'm not here to completely torture myself. The thought with using Goodreads is it is books that I am interested in versus like walking into the library and picking a roulette random book, if you know what I mean. Like, they're supposed to be books that I have an interest in reading. Maybe they weren't a priority. Maybe I didn't think I would get to them anytime soon. Clearly, I have over 800 books on there. Like, it's literally just someone was chatting about a book. I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting," and it ended up on there. So we will need our random number generator again. I need to look at exactly, there's 815 books. Okay, now I have in the numbers 1 through 815. 306. It's God's Grave. I am not lying, I swear. 306 was God's Grave from the Nevernight. I need to reread Nevernight to read that. All right, so this is going to have to add 2 books because I really should reread Nevernight. I read it 3 or 4 years ago, but I do own God's Grave. I don't own Nevernight, so maybe I will just buy that and have it sent. This is by Jay Kristoff. This is the Nevernight Chronicles. There are 3 books in the series. We are following Mia Corvair, who is a badass assassin. She goes to assassin's school. Like I said, it's been a really long time since I read that book, but I would like to finally cross the series off my list. I know that this is so old, I'm going to cover it up, but my husband bought this for me for our first wedding anniversary. Traditional gift is paper, so he bought me a book and wrote a note in the cover, and we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary, and I still haven't read this. I am the worst, but that wasn't nearly as scary as I thought. And I can totally reread Nevernight and jump into this as well. This is adult fantasy, but the books are smaller, just over 400 pages, so I feel less daunted by this than this. They look to be the same size, but the Hero of Ages is twice as thick. Okay, so I now have 9 books on my November TBR, and if I do not complete all 9 books, I will need to pull in a challenge before my December TBR. That is quite scary. So I have The Hero of Ages, Clockwork Angel, Addie LaRue, Daughter of No World, Sea of Ruin, The Blood is Love, Beneath the Sugar Sky, Nevernight, and God's Grave. Holy crapoly. Anyways, that is Hello Domino. That is my November TBR. Thank you for listening to all of my ramblings. Let me know what we should call this TBR game. If you like it, should I keep it going through 2023? That's a scary thought. Whoa. I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.